My name is Steve Zala. I've been a hotshot for 14 of the 17 years that I've been in fire with the Forest Service. Okay, I was on a hotshot crew, and we were working with another Region 5 hotshot crew. We're out of region in Arizona. On the border of New Mexico was the Solis fire. And as far as the shift goes, it was high 90s, low RHs, single digits. And it was two superintendents going at it, you know, just old camaraderie because they come up together. And they were pushing each other, pushing the crews. So we had a long shift of just cutting line. I was on the saw at the time, but yeah, it was one of the hardest shifts. It just beat us in. It was like, don't let them bump us, you know, camaraderie type from crews. But came to find out after the story was said and done, the two superintendents had a little bet going between each other who would outlast who, because both crews had had a big turnover throughout the year. So, but yeah, it was definitely, you know, very hot, very hard-working shift. I think we, you know, it was actually one of those old shifts where you don't do too often anymore, where you're, you know, digging line for an actual 12, 15 hours a day rather than, you know, taking little breaks. And, you know, air tankers doing drops. And it was one of those bark beetles. Well, we have another name for them, but for other reasons I won't express that right now. But, yeah, those bark beetles were everywhere. I just remember retardant drops falling, and they were stuck to us, just crawling all over us. The floor, you know, ground looked like it was just alive from all the bark beetles that got hit with retardant. And yeah, and that just adds to the stress of the fire line and digging. You know, they're getting in your shirts, in your back. And I remember we had a gal in the crew, and they were all in her hair, up in her bun, and literally 3 guys had to just stop and help pull them out of her hair so we can calm her down. But yeah, it was definitely one of the hardest shifts I've had. Other little name we use for them is called Mike Tyson Beetle, just because they're hard to kill. They bite and you can't feel them on you, so it's like you're working. They're drawn into the heat, so they smell smoke, and they can come from miles away. From my understanding, they can pick it up within, I think they said out at 30 miles they can pick that up, and they can you know, come to the smoke. So different areas, I guess where they're infested, you know, they respond differently, and you know, the population that's going to show up. But yeah, they're very intense as far as aggressive. They bite, and it's not a little bite. It feels like I can relate it to maybe a meat bee's bite, and it's just an irritation. And it's just when they keep biting you one after the other, and somehow they find the little ways to get up your pant leg, through the boots, or, you know, down your shirt. And it's just when you're already sweating and you got dirt all over you, and you're fighting this hot fire, and you know, you're digging hard line, and it's just like, now you got to stop and try and fight this off. And it's like you can't ignore it, because it's like down your middle of your back, and it's just, you know, you start screaming like, somebody help me, or like, you know, try and get this off me, or it's like, yeah. So the fire behavior, it was pretty active. It was a moving fire, so we were basically 1 foot in the black, flanking the fire. So fire was moving progressively throughout the day. Ships, fixed wing was putting retardant drops, just trying to knock the head down, and you know, helicopters were keeping the flanks cool for us. So it was a pretty hot day. Like I said, it was 96, 98 degrees, and you know, the RHs were single digit. So it was a mixed ponderosa type, fuel type. So it wasn't patches of brush, just mixed, you know, the cheatgrass carrier down in there. So it was a pretty active moving fire. And as far as flanking wise, no room for dozers, so it was all hand crew stuff, you know, just far from the road. But we were actively working well with the ships, and we were able to hold our own with 1 foot in the black.